Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Once Upon a Time, Season 3, episode... What episode was this? Episode 16, I believe? No, episode 17, The Jolly Roger. And this was probably the most surprising episode of Once Upon a Time we've had so far. And the reason I say that is because of the ending. Now, at first, when I saw the promo for this episode, I thought it was going to be pretty much a filler episode. I didn't think there was going to be too much happening on it. However, it turned up being one of the most crucial episodes of the season. This episode is basically the game changer of the season. It really was an amazing episode, and I really loved it. I thought it was a fantastic episode. But let's just get to it. So, the main plot had to do with Hook, and Ariel. We thought it was Ariel, you know, I'll get to that in a second, but basically, we see this carriage thunder down a road until it stops because of an armored knight standing in the middle of the road. He draws his sword, and the men accompanying the carriage demand to know who he is. He says he's the man who will rob them of a chest of gold, and they are transporting, and you know, it's Hook. And he complains that Smee took too long to light the arrows, and they only have a handful of men between them. And he says it would have been easier if they had an actual army. Smee says he's glad to be back with him, and it's better than being a rat as it was under the curse. He tells his men that you don't need to be a ship to be a pirate. They take their booty to the local tavern to celebrate. They toast Hook, and then Smee tells him the men chipped in to get him a gift. This part, honestly, was kind of boring. I didn't care about this part as much. But then in private, Hook hands a purse of coins, and he tells her to tell his men that he showed her a great time. He sends her off, walks down, knocked out, held at knife point, and it's actually Ariel, and she's saying he'll pay for what he's done. So that was kind of interesting when we saw that. Basically, we then see Smee at the we see Hook at the harbor, and Smee comes to tell him that the men are missing him and haven't seen much of him. He asks where they're going to get back to at pirating. He reminds them that there's no safe hatches out of Storybrooke, and Smee says they could outrun it. He asks if he's found the Jolly Roger, and Smee is upset because Hook is the only one that he can remember from the last year, because as you remember, most of them lost their memory, and so he can only remember, you know, that's the only person he can remember. So yeah, so then Mary and David walk on the shore, and they talk about how they can be fun as a pirate captain. Then they come up upon a crowd at the shoreline, and it's Ariel. So Mary asks Ariel where she's been, and she says she's been under the sea searching for Prince Eric. They ask how long he's been missing. She says she woke up after the year and had no memories, so she can back in case she missed him back in Storybrooke. So they tell her they've been trying to figure out what happened, and they tell her about Zelena. Ariel wonders if Eric is responsible, and David says Hook may have known since he wasn't cursed. So then back in the Enchanted Forest, you know, the memory, the flashback, Hook asks Ariel what her problem is. She says he kidnapped Prince Eric and she wants him back. He says that that doesn't sound like him, and he tells her she has the wrong pirate. He turns a knife on her, and she tells him that one of Eric's men escaped and told her he had been taken on the Jolly Roger. He demands to know who is captaining his ship. She tells him that the man who has escaped it with a dagger she has stolen from the army, the initials are BB in it. And very quickly, she learns that he was not the one that did this. So she just wants him to help her, basically. That's what he plans on doing. So then Hook, Ariel, and Smee walk through the forest. Ariel complains and says she prefers the ocean to the land. Hook agrees. Her cloak gets caught on something. Hook tries to help, but tears her cloak with his hook. She gets mad because it's Eric. Hook tells her to focus on the problem and says that she should prepare for the worst since Blackbeard is notorious for killing. And he tells her not to believe any of that. He says he's a pirate and always will be. So, then Ariel and Hook come in. Belle is thrilled to see her, and because as you know, Ariel and Belle were basically just the best of friends, and I like seeing that Ariel and Belle friendship continue in this episode. I enjoyed that. Basically, Belle says she doesn't know if there's anything there because she hasn't gone through the whole shop. Hook pokes around, finds his spyglass. He looks through it and sees a gold object. He goes to it and grabs it when Ariel comes in and says it's Eric. She asks how he knew it was Eric's, and he says it was a guess. Ariel hugs him gratefully, and he looks uncomfortable. Belle spills a locator spell potion on the cloak. Ariel thanks her. The cloak rises, speeds out the window. Ariel, Belle, and Hook go after it. And then Ariel and Smee hide on the dock looking for the Jolly Roger. They square off with their swords, do battle. They go back at it. Hook makes him trip on a faulty board, but Ariel asks him to wait to kill him until he tells him where Eric is. And basically, then the cloak flies around, falls on the water at the docks, plunges down into the water. Ariel tears up. She says that the spell worked, then he's gone. She cries under Hook's shoulder, and he tells her he's sorry. So, Ariel tells Hook that she saved Eric from the sea once and never thought she'd have to lose him to it. She tells Hook he's more than a pirate and has a true heart, and she'll always be grateful. So then Hook walks BB on the plank, while Ariel begs him not to do it. They all cheer his name. Ariel slaps him, calls him selfish and heartless, and says he'll never be happy. She marches away, and he asks where she's going, and she looks for air, and she dives in the water. We see a fish of her tail. And she's gone. So then the biggest surprise of the episode is Hook is chasing her down, back in Storybrooke. He tells her that Eric had been kidnapped by Blackbeard, and she asks why he didn't save anything, and he says he was ashamed because he chose his ship over her love. She slaps him. She's really upset at this point. She asks if he still loves the woman who broke his heart. All of a sudden, just randomly, she brings up Emma. She thanks him, and then she says that's what's needed of her. And it turns out it was Zelena, because the whole episode I'm wondering, where's Zelena? Where's Zelena? Zelena was Ariel all this time. And my mouth just dropped because of that, because I was not expecting to see Zelena in this episode at all. I wasn't expecting it because we hadn't heard anything about, we hadn't seen her, we'd heard about her, but we hadn't seen her the whole episode, so I didn't think we'd see her. But it turned out that it was all a trick of hers. Basically, she takes his love from him. He asks what she's done with Ariel, and she says that she found her true love and is now living happily ever after with him. She says she knew his dirty secret and was able to use it against him. She tells him she's cursed him, and the next time he kisses Emma, all her magic will be taken from her. And he tells her he will tell Emma, and she says if he does, she'll send the Dark One to kill her. And she tells him if he doesn't kiss her, she'll destroy Emma's parents and son. He's horrified. She tells him that if he doesn't do it, everyone Emma loves will die. She disappears in a puff of green smoke. So, he comes back to the loft, doesn't really know what to do. And basically he says Eric is safe and that the curse in that Ariel is out of her way town. And we do see that Ariel and Eric are reunited, so they basically think that, Emma says, did he bring them together? And he says it was Ariel. And then the very end of the episode, we see that basically Mary asks Hook where Ariel is, and he says that she's gone back to find Eric. Mary says a happy ending and their look is about to change. She asks for them to all go to dinner at Granny's. Henry asks if he can drive. Emma tells Hook he can come, but he makes an excuse to leave. She tells him what she's tired of living in the past and doesn't care what happened in the past year. He agrees that he's tired of living in the past. Walks down the streets, pulls out a spyglass, and he watches Emma laughing in Granny's, and his look is torture, because as he knows, he's going to have to tell Emma the truth, what Zelena said. So, very sad there, actually. Very big twist. Definitely, I'm very interested in seeing where that's going to go, but that was this was just such a great twist, and I love the main plot. So, we did have two other plots, though. The subplot had to do with Emma and Regina. Basically, Regina was trying to help Emma with her powers. Emma doesn't want them to stay there, and she wants to take the fight to Zelena, but Regina reminds her that if her sister can easily bested her, and they barely escaped, and Emma tells her she can use her magic with Regina if Regina taught her to control her magic. So Regina says they have to do it in a way they do it. She's a box with her and touches it and tells her magic is a way she has to commit to. Emma agrees, and Regina tells her to meet her at the vault in an hour, and Regina goes. So Emma tells her parents not to hassle her about it. They volunteer to watch Henry when she gets back, but she defers and says they need some rest. Then she says Henry doesn't want to hear about babies all the time, and David says it's if they're no fun, who is. And then Emma and Henry approach. Emma speaks to Hook privately. She asks if he could watch Henry for her, and she says he doesn't have to use her son as an excuse. She tells him she's going to train magic so she and Regina can fight Zelena. So, then what happens is Emma comes down to Regina's vault. She asks who's watching Henry. Emma tells her that Hook has been bonding with him. And Regina tells her that they all know that she and Hook are crushing on each other. You can see that definitely they're getting a lot closer in this episode. That's why it's so sad with what Hook's gonna have to do. The the language is Elvish, and Emma says that she can't learn like this. She has to teach her like Gold taught her, and Emma says it was sink or swim. Transports them to a rickety suspension bridge high above a gorge, and Emma panics. So then, basically what happens after that is Emma's in panic as it shakes in the bridge. She asks Regina if she's out of her mind. Regina says her power always shows by instinct. They will push her instincts until she masters them. Regina uses magic to dismantle the bridge and tells Emma she can stop it or die. Emma is hanging by a thread, begs her to stop it. Regina tells her to stop it by herself and reach her inside herself and save the bridge and save herself. Emma goes tumbling down. Regina panics when she can't see her, but Emma comes floating back up on a pallet made of the bridge pieces. Regina says she's been wasting her potential. And then, basically, what happens is, what basically happens from there is that she walks down the docks, and well, we saw that happen, basically. And, that's basically what happened there. Basically, Regina tells Emma to try the mirror magic, and Hook says not to spy on them. And Regina instructs her to look inward. Emma focuses, and in the mirror we see, that's how we saw Ariel and Eric. So basically, Emma's powers are getting stronger, and that's what they want her to do, basically. That's what Regina wants her to do. She wants to be able to fight Regina, and I thought that plot was actually very well done the way that was, that was going. I like seeing this, because as we know, Emma and Regina are secretly working together. I really like seeing that. I really like seeing them working together. I really enjoyed seeing that scene. It was very well done, in my opinion. And then the third plot had to do with Henry, Mary Margaret, and David. Basically, they're just trying to show Henry that they can be fun. They took Henry out to a, David taught Henry how to drive. They just had a good time. Not too much going on there. But this episode was amazing, as I said. I love the twist in the episode of Zelena being Ariel. My one question, though, is was all those times they saw Ariel, was that always Zelena? Or was Ariel, in the past, was that Ariel? Or was Ariel Zelena all this time? I'm kind of confused about that. I guess we'll just have to see. But, what do you think? The next episode looks very weird. Let me just talk about it. Basically, they're going to have to summon Cora back from the dead. And it's going to be a very bad mistake. I don't know. It looks weird. I don't know what's going to happen there exactly. But I guess we'll just have to see. But overall, this episode for me, I really, really enjoyed it. Really good twist. Is Hook going to tell Emma all about this? Or is he going to tell anyone about this for that matter? Will Emma be able to fight Zelena now? I think she will be able to. What's going to happen there? Is Regina going to be able to fight Zelena? Do you think Regina's teaching Emma well? Did you like seeing that? We're getting close to the finale. There's only, I think, 3 episodes left till there's only, like, 2 episodes left till the finale, so, I think the finale is probably going to be amazing and probably going to be the best one of the show. But, that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for, Turn and Mad Men. So, see you then. Bye.